such enthusiasm. Thank you. Let me also remind people that Bryan is supposed to be evaluated by Francesca for the written evaluation and Jesse for the oral evaluation.
Do you guys have any like shampoo, makeup at home? Okay, all you guys don't. All you guys over there don't, but I guess. Alright. There's every like products used, there's animals being tested within there's products tested that are good for human use. But usually when the animals are tested, they're usually forced into testing with their harm in a study in a Human Society International. Animals are used in force feeding, they're burned for their healing purposes, for ointments, and there's for shampoos too. There's a test called Dye's eyes, where rabbits are forced to open their eyelids and use shampoo or whatever products to check to test if their eyes are or like how does it affect the eyes. And they're usually tested for 3 days straight without blinking, forced into to not blink. And another test called LD50, where the chemical that are tested to animals, which kills 50% of whatever animals are tested on. But all these tests are pretty much useless because there's some tests that are conducted to animals, but even though when they're past animals, they might cause harms to humans. Like a pill in the 1950s where there's a pill called thrometride, where 10,000 babies were born with difficulty breathing because this pill was tested on pregnant mice. Pretty much, it was successful on pregnant mice, but it was damaging to them if in high doses. But it was not harmful for them, but they were for human use. And another one called Veltex, which prevents heart attacks on mice, but it led up to 75,000 people getting heart attacks and critical deaths until a year later, until the pill got dropped on the market. Well, there is an alternative testing method. We actually make human testing, but we just take their cells from their bodies. So we're using we take their cells out, and we use that cells in planting cell testing. So we get their cells, we make our own skin within those cells, and we actually have a computer running like tests acting like blood cells, pretty much. So they could test their new products into like this make-believe body that is like acting like a body, pretty much, and it's more effective because they're actually using human skin, human cells and animal skins. But like now that we have an alternative into like human body cells, we don't need to test poor animals no more because it harms them.
Jesse, some thoughts?
I want to start with the most obvious, is it was really short. I don't think it was anywhere near the allotted time. I understand what your topic was, and that's that animal testing is bad. You started off with an intention device that I think everyone is optimistic about. It seemed like you got a lot of review or answers from, which normally just a question like that wouldn't work or isn't desired from Richard. You got a lot of response though, which is really cool. But other than that, it just ended up being, after that, just a list of reasons why it was bad without having given us your exact topic, what it was, or anything else. Other than that, you didn't have very much, like you had statistics, I think, but you didn't quote any specific person that you had removed it from or where you had gotten your research. It just didn't seem very well prepared. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there are preparation issues. You need to practice some pronunciation. You need to be careful. By the plural of mice is not mices, it's mice. So that's a little bit awkward. You know, it's just one of those things that just sounds like you have put this together at the last minute and haven't really thought about how it sounds or where you're going with it. I like the idea of the topic. I heard it earlier today in the other class. It started off with almost exactly the same two examples, the Dre's eye test and the LD50 test, talking about those sorts of things, and then an argument about the ineffectiveness of animal testing for human products. We got a little bit of conflation here between the tests for consumer issues like shampoos and for medical issues like medicines or prescription pills, for instance, that are being talked about. And I think that because it doesn't develop very much, when you put those two things together, your argument is not quite as strong as it could be if you stuck to one or the other. I think there's a very strong argument to be made, for example, that we can eliminate a lot of the animal testing for cosmetics and those sorts of things, that there are effective alternatives on that. The argument for effective alternatives on medications is a little bit less convincing and needs to be developed a lot more, and you're not really developing it for either of these points as much as it could be. I'd agree that there's a shortage of source citation in it. It feels, like I said, underprepared, and the short thing, well, it's definitely the Danny DeVito of speeches. All right, thank you.